Mike, how you doing? Flams, flam taps, flam paradiddles. We're going to start with rolls. Is that okay with you, Mike? Okay. First, let me discuss the two different schools of drumming. That is the field drumming, which labels the rudiments. This is a 5-stroke ruff. This is a 5-stroke roll, or single 5, or flam taps, boom, boom, and all that good stuff. And it's part of the language. However, the other school, there's only 3 rudiments. There's single strokes, and double strokes, and flams. And that's all you need. And everything else is a combination of those 3 elements. Okay? So now, first thing we're going to do, we're going to work with a 5-stroke roll. It's called a roll because there's 2 doubles and a single. And the last stroke of the single, of the roll, is accented. Now I'm going to do this first in a 6/8 formation. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Now, I got this from the Buddy Rich book. When I first started, this was one of the lessons that I did. Okay? And I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I start with my hands down because I want 1, 2, 3, 4 sounding the same. And I want to hit 5 as an accent. So now, being familiar with the control strokes, you're going to have 1 is a tap, 2 is an upstroke, 3 is a tap, 4 is a tap, 5, 6. Then it alternates. You have a tap, up, tap, tap, down. We get that? Any questions on that one? So now, if I do it in tempo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like learning your ABCs. You know, you learn that's the letter A, that's the letter B, and that's what we're doing now. This is a 5-stroke roll in that formation, so you're learning it. But a 5-stroke roll can come in a tremendous amount of different formations, and you know, where you put a 5-stroke roll, and we're not talking just rudimental drumming, we're talking about playing funk or jazz or rock or whatever. It's endless, man. It's up to you to place it inside of a groove, inside of a tune, inside of a pattern you're playing. But now, that was the first approach. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do that for a while, get familiar with it. But notice that 1, 2, 3, 4 all sounded the same, and the accent was pronounced. 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm doing it slow. I want those first 4 strokes to sound the same and pronounce the accent. Now I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to take it to another zone. Instead of me thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm going to think of 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. Maintaining the same sticking pattern. Now, you could reverse it and hit 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1. So now that's 2 formations, the 6/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm doing it very slow. I'm being extremely mechanical just for demonstration reasons to show you what's occurring when you're playing 5s like this. You know, you're doing a run of 5s. That's what's happening. So we did 6/8 and 3/4. Now we're going to go to 4/4. And we're going to take this as 4/16 and a quarter. 1E and the 2, 3E and the 4. 1E and the 2, 3E and the 4. 1E and the 2, 3E and the 4. Okay? Or you can reverse it, 1E and the 2, 3E and the 4, depending on what you want to do. But you want to build this with the metronome. Now the tempo that you find, if you have a hard time with that, you got to find yourself a tempo. Let's go. Let's go to let's say 72. That's my quarter. I'm gonna play 16ths. I play the 16th. 1E and the 2. 1E and the 2. 3E and the 4. 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 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the 4. Simple. Okay? Now, that's 1, 2, 3 different ways, or 4 or 5 different ways to do a 5-stroke roll. What this is you're not putting it into any kind of pattern or making any kind of musical statement. You're learning what a 5-stroke roll is. And that was 4/16 and a quarter. Now we're going to go to 32nd notes. We're going to play an 8th note, 4 32nds, and tie it over to the next 8th note, which will give me the 5. So kind of 1 is a pickup note. I'm going to accent the 1. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4. We understand that, gentlemen? Okay. Now, that's the commonplace. I'm playing it to I can play 4 32nds in an 8th. Now I'm taking it up tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and clean. Okay. Now I go to a triplet, and if I'm swinging something, I'd like to play this. It's actually, I could think of it as 6/8, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to take it in a triplet formation. I'm going to double the first 2 counts of the triplet and hit the accent on the last stroke. 1 and da, 2 and da. Nice feel. Alright, so that takes care of the 5-stroke roll. Now, I don't know why, but the names change for some reason or other. I don't really know. And honestly, you know what? Fine, I really don't care. When I learned this, it was a 5-stroke ruff. That's all single strokes, accenting the last note of the ruff. Now it's called the single 5. Why? I don't know. When I first started to play, there was only 26 basic rudiments. And the only reason why I learned all the rudiments was to develop control of my hands or whatever. But I come from now to school where there's only the 3 rudiments. And I put everything together, and if you want to call it a 5-stroke roll, a flam paradiddle, whatever you want to call it. What it's for, actually, I think, is to learn the language, you know. So, you know, the ruff and the roll, I call it the 5-stroke ruff. I get a lot of negative feedback. You don't know what you're doing. It's called a single 5. Hello, call it what you want. I learned it as a 5-stroke ruff. Now it's named the single 5. So either or is correct. Okay, I can look at it as 4/16 and a quarter, you know, whatever. Now we're going to go to the 5-stroke ruff, aka single 5, and we're going to do it the same formation as we did for the 5-stroke roll rather. We're starting here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So on and so forth. Okay, now the next formation is in 3/4. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. And then the 16th notes, or I can reverse that. I can get 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1. So on and so forth. Okay? Not a problem. Now we go to the 16th notes in the quarter, 1E and 2, 3E and 4E and okay, and then we go excuse me, to the 30 seconds. I'm going to start with the 8th note. 1, E, and 2, E. Okay, then the triplet. 1 and 1 and the accent in the end. 1 and 2 and whatever. So that takes care of the four-stroke ruff, single 4. I mean, we didn't do the 4. We did the 5-stroke roll and the 5-stroke ruff, or single 4, 5. The next one I'm going to hit on is a single 4. It's a 4-stroke ruff. We're not going to use the grace notes and come with the last note. We're going to play this very open, and we're going to go back to the 6/8 formation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, for me to alternate that, whatever hand I end with is actually the hand I begin with. So I have started with the right. 1, 2, 3, left. I start with the left now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I get this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm counting. I'm thinking 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the next formation for that guy, and there's no 4-stroke roll, by the way, unless you want to make one up and call it hybrid. What I do next is I take it into a triplet formation, and I count it as 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Or I can go 16th note triplet to an 8th, 1 and, depending on the tempo. There's all kinds of formations that you can play: the 4-stroke ruff, the single 4, or the 5-stroke roll, or the single 5, or 5-stroke ruff. Nobody's telling you where to put that or what to do with it. I'm just explaining what it is as part of the language. Now, next is the 6-stroke roll. Now, I got scolded somewhat, I guess. When I did a 6-stroke roll, I played 2 16ths and 4 30-seconds. And they said, oh, that is 30 seconds and 16th notes, like 1 E and 2 E. And that's not wrong. That's a formation you can do. It's not a problem. What is standard with a 6-stroke roll, I'm playing inside of the 16th note pulse to the duck. So I'm going like this. I'm starting here. I'm going 1 E and 2 E and 3. Now, if I put, I'm told that's just 2 16ths and 4 30-seconds. But if I take it here in a displacement form, 1 E and 2 E and 3. Same thing. So it's just 6 strokes, but I have 2 accents. And I'm going to do it like this. 1 E and 2. Hey, I'm sorry. 1 E and 2 E and 3. We see that, Mike? And whoever else is watching? We understand that? Hello, 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 somebody. Okay, simple. So now we have the four-stroke ruff, the or aka single four. I got to get used to saying that. And then you have the five-stroke ruff, single five, or five-stroke roll, and now the six-stroke roll. Now the seven-stroke roll is just 7 strokes, with the last note being a single stroke, which is accented. Now the reason why I come up with these combinations is so you could understand it and break it down, dissect it. Like I said, wherever you want to put this kind of stuff, you put it when you're playing, if it makes musical sense to you. So now, the 7-stroke roll, we're going to count in eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That was 7 strokes. Again, the in-between notes were all at one level, and I positioned myself to come and nail the accent. 1 and 2 and, I'm up to nail the accent. 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Any questions on that one? Now that's just what it is. In the 7-stroke ruff or single 7, it's the same thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then I take it to the next step, and I play as the double, the roll, 1 and 2, 1 E and the 2 E and. Reverse the lead to the left hand. Okay, I don't want to go much further with the 7 because it's a lot to absorb in such a little period of time. So let's go over what we did. We had the single 4, or aka 4-stroke ruff, the 5-stroke roll, and the 5-stroke ruff, aka the single 5. The 6-stroke roll, and now the 7-stroke roll and the 7-stroke ruff. Anything you gentlemen want me to go over a little slower? Because what I like to do is hit on some flams. Gentlemen ready for the flams? There's a couple people here watching, but nobody's asking any questions. For those who are not in the chat, any questions? Say hello, whoever you might be. Okay, there's a chat. Okay, the flams. Okay, now let's discuss. To me, there's the alternating flam and a downstroke flam, or a free stroke flam. So let's start with a free stroke flam. Now, the normal way or normal, whatever is normal, the way I teach this is there's a primary note and a grace note. Sometimes I'll refer to it as a king note. It's the same thing, meaning primary note, or principal note, meaning primary. So, what's the purpose of a flam? Is to make the sound fatter. So if I just played a right hand full stroke, or that's a free stroke, that's one sound. Now, if I put a grace note just before that primary note and play them, it gets a little fatter sounding. Without, with. You hear the difference in sound? Okay. What is that? Alright. So now we have the free stroke flam. Now we reverse it and we get the left hand. It's called, I call it the free stroke flam, or left hand flam. It's just reversing what I do with the right hand. my right hand now becomes the grace note, and my left hand becomes the primary note, or principal, or king note, whatever you want to call it. So you have this. Alright, so that takes care of the free stroke flam. The next flam is going to be an alternating flam, which simply means I'm in this position, okay, and like I said, I'm extremely mechanical, so you can see what it is. I'm here. Now, what I'm going to do is play a alternating flam, which just simply means I'm going to get in position to attack a left-hand flam. So as I hit the grace note, okay, and then hit the primary note, that grace note comes into position to attack the left side, like so. Am I freezing again? Hold on. Do we understand that, Michael? Alternating flam. So then we have the right hand flam, the left hand flam, and the alternating flam. Then there's one more, which is the downstroke flam, and we're going to get to that when we do the diddles, like the flam paradiddle, flam double paradiddle, flam triple paradiddle, flam paradiddle diddle, Swiss Army triplet, flam taps, and flam accents. That's when we use the downstroke flam. So, with that being said, I come up with a pretty, I don't know if you want to call it cool or not, but it's a different kind of exercise. It's sort of fun. It's not challenging, but it makes you think a little bit. And I come up with a stick control formula. And I say, okay, R equals a right hand flam. L equals a left hand flam. So now we establish that. Every time I see an R, I play a right hand flam. Every time I see a left, I play a left hand flam. Okay, so with that being said, let's start with line 1 of the stick control book. You have alternate strokes. You have right, left, now make them flams. Flam, flam, right hand flam, left, right, left. Simple. Just alternating the flams. And you know what? When some guys practice, that's all they do. So, let's go to line 3. Now line 3, you have 2 rights in a row. And that's telling me I need to have a free stroke flam and an alternating flam, which would be 1, 2, or 1 and left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. Okay, so it's something a little bit different, and it gives you something different to practice instead of just playing alternating flams. Okay, we go to line 5, which is pretty cool. It's an alternating, free stroke, alternating. So I took the paradiddle sticky, like so, and I put a flam in front of it according to the formula. So I have a right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Now guys are telling me, well, what's the sense of doing it? What does that have to do with the music? Well, you make it have something to do with the music. That's number 1. Number 2, it's an exercise. And it's just something different to practice flams with. You know, I say to the students, I say, listen, you know, you study karate, you play football, you play soccer, or whatever sport it might be, and you do push-ups, you do sit-ups, you jog, chin-ups, whatever it might be. What does that have to do with martial arts? What does that have to do with football or soccer? What? You stay in shape. Here you're staying in shape, you're thinking, plus you're learning the language. And it's just a fun way to do flams. It's different. You know, I used to just play flams like this. Okay, I know my flams. Big deal. Now, I have to take a system using the right and left from the stick control book as a formula, and I get this. It's a fun thing to do. It makes you focus, zero in on it. No problem. And by the way, Mike, I got notification that my camera's on the way back, and hopefully I'll be up and running on the other site, and we could do a couple of these lessons on the site. How's that sound, Mike? Okay, just a couple more flam rudiments, then I'm going to have to call it a night early tonight, okay, Michael? And whoever else is watching. Oh, yeah, bunga. Okay, so now we understand that this is a right-hand flam. These are alternating flams. This is a left-hand flam. Now, what we did not cover is the downstroke flam. Now, I'm just going to play a single paradiddle without the flam, accenting the first stroke. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, a flam single paradiddle has a flam in front of the first stroke of the paradiddle. Flam, up, tap, tap. Flam, up, tap, tap. Flam. You see it now? It's a downstroke flam. Why? It's not an alternating flam. I need to stay down and come up with the next stroke to be in position to attack the next flam. Tap, tap. Down, up, tap, tap. Simple. Down, up, tap, tap. That's where we use a downstroke flam. The next rudiment, we're just going to do that. I'm going to briefly go over. The next rudiment is a flam tap. And I'm doing this in quarter notes, okay? And all the flam tap is an alternating flam and a tap. Alternating flam and a tap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alternate, tap. Alternate, tap. Now, that's the flam tap and the flam paradiddle. What I'm going to do, I'm going to play flam paradiddles in 16ths. Like 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the 4. I'm not trying to play them as fast as I could possibly play them, because that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I'm going to do one measure of flam, the single paradiddle, flam paradiddle. Then I'm going to do the next up-and-coming measure, flam taps in 16th note formation, like so. 1E and the 2E and 3, 4, then the flam paradiddle. Okay, let's get a tempo on it. Let's try, I don't know, I'm really tight right now. The air conditioner's on, so I'm sort of freezing. Okay, so now, we're playing flam tap, or flam paradiddle, flam tap. I say 1, 2. So on and so forth. It's just something fun to do. Okay, we're going to go. We're going to leave. Just stay at the flam tap, the flam paradiddle, the flam paradiddle, and I just want to jump to the Swiss Army triplet and the flam accent. Then I'm going to have to call it a night, so it's going to be an early night, and I sincerely apologize. I like to spend as much time as I can, but I've been teaching since 9 o'clock this morning, and I didn't even have a lunch break yet. Maybe a cigarette break and a coffee break, and that's about it. And this is my last thing for the day, so I'm sure that you will understand. So, the Swiss Army triplet. It's based off a triplet. The sticking is right, for a right hand Swiss Army triplet, is right, right, left, right, right, left. Now I can enter this in 3/4 as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which you can do, which is fine for instructional reasons. But now I'm going to put a flam in the front of that sticking pattern, and it's going to be a downstroke, an upstroke, and a tap. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Simple. So I'm thinking in 3/4. Now I want to take it to a triplet formation, and like you know how I count the triplets, you gentlemen: 1 ender, 2 ender, 3 ender, 4 ender. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 ender, 2 ender, 3 ender, 4 ender. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll build that up. Now the fun thing about doing that is this. And by the way, that's to the right end. If somebody says, all right, let me hear you play your Swiss Army triplets, you want to play them up tempo a little bit, and it sounds like this. And they say to you, well, your doubles suck. Then you know you got the Swiss Army triplet happening. I mean, the doubles are here. So they're hearing this. Okay? Swiss Army triplet. Right, right, left. Down, up, tap. Right in. Then you do it to the left hand. Left, left, left. 1 and up. 2. So you have the right hand and the left hand. Okay, one more. The flam accent. Alright, now all that is, now I get the remarks I get sometimes, how come you're not accenting it? It's a flam with an accent on it. It's not a flam with an accent on it. It's a triplet with a flam in front of it. If I'm playing alternating triplets, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, and put a flam in front of it. 3, now watch. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1. Now you have some rudimental drummers in these drum corps. Man, their hands are so outrageous. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't spend time on rudiments like that to get them at an astronomical speed. I do have a marching drum here, but I don't really, I teach a few kids on it because they're in the marching band. But that's, I was in a marching band, I was in a drum corps, in a high school band, and all that good stuff. It's sort of a different kind of drumming because, you have to hit hard. And I don't like to hit hard, I lose control of that. To me, if you're outside in the field, it's the field drumming, you're hitting hard. Well, I'm going to take the lesson tomorrow, Mike. I'm going to continue from this point. I'm going to review it somewhat and continue. There's going to be reading, and I believe it's the Morello book. I have the agenda someplace. So with that all being said, I'm going to close it up right now, so I hope you don't mind, Mike. Is that okay with you? It's only been like, 40 minutes? Sorry, Mike. Well, we'll see you tomorrow night, yeah? Thank you, Mike. Okay, tomorrow night. Good. I like the exclamation mark. That's cool. Let's just have a good time tomorrow. Okay? You have a good night. Take care.